just a hack. It's just an absolute hack. And he gets his ass kicked by his teammates every week. It's just, it's terrible. It's just terrible.
How much stock do you give in them beating Florida State and then this cakewalk barnyard ass finish to the year? I don't know. Would you rather have Clemson or Oregon? Undefeated Clemson with a barnyard ass back half of the schedule, or Oregon who keeps on running it, but took a barnyard loss to Georgia at the first week.
Oregon, and
that's what it comes down to for me.
Yes, yeah, and we talked about this on the preview show that like Oregon has at least progressively shown improvement. I have only seen like more struggles from Clemson, so like I don't know.
Shown improvement against better teams, not better than Georgia, but better teams throughout the year. UCLA was no slouch, even though I said UCLA was going to cover. UCLA was no slouch.
I think that the debate is going to end up coming down to, well, TCU is also going to be factored into this conversation too for that final spot if they win out. And I think that TCU, the rest of their schedule is relatively thin. And I'll look that up in a second when I finish my point. But I would much rather have, a one-loss Tennessee team, one-loss Alabama team, maybe even a two-loss Alabama team, depending on what happens, over Clemson. They're going to have the prototypical resume that qualifies them to play in the college football playoff, but they will not have the quality of team. And that's the debate that keeps happening with this shit, is that it's like, how do you look on the field? But then how does that argument work when you're undefeated? It's just very complicated because nobody has a right answer for this.
TCU resume, stellar. Okay, take out the first 2 weeks in Colorado and Tarleton. Okay, take those two out. SMU, not an awful win. It's not, but okay, here's the rest of the stretch here. Beat number 18 Oklahoma. Dumpster fire, but still number 18 Oklahoma. Yeah. Beat number 19 Kansas. Stop their winning streak. Beat number 8 Oklahoma State. Oh, this is just their rankings. Is that when it happened? Must have been. Yeah, because Kansas is not ranked anymore. And then beat number 17 Kansas State. Not a slouch. 4 straight ranked wins. 2 of those are barnyard teams. But TCU going up at West Virginia, Texas Tech, Texas, Baylor, Iowa State. A gauntlet, but
that's a difficult final schedule.
It's a difficult
final hardest final schedules out of like any of these top teams. I don't disagree with that. I would actually maybe even give Oregon.
Can we give them 6.5? Can we give them 6.5?
No, I'm giving them 13.5. I'm giving them 13.5.
13.5? How do I leave the stream? You're being ridiculous.
Oregon has put up huge point totals in this stretch of success that they've had. And I want to talk, we're going to talk about like the game in a second for them. They have put up really huge offensive production, exploded. And UCLA had a really good defense and they did what they did. What does Clemson have that they're going to hang close with Oregon? They don't have the only thing that they have again is their defensive line, and they get the ball out really freaking quick with Oregon. Like I have no faith that they're going to get after Bo Nix. They can't keep up.
Look, man, you're kind of stretching it a little bit at 13.5. I'll give them 6.5 because that Oregon offensive line is pretty good. They're pretty solid. They got some maulers.
Don't you usually give 3 points for if you're home? Isn't that like the bit? So, okay, if you give them 3 points, I'm saying that Clemson would lose by 10. So 13 points. I think that's fair.